Hello, everybody. Welcome to What Culture Gaming. I'm Scott, and I'm joined by Ewan.
What am I doing here?
You just pop in.
Yeah.
Occasions arise when people should come together, Avengers style, to talk about the most important things in the world, like a new Splinter Cell game. So now the other day, we did a video about how the Ghost Recon DLC nigh on confirmed that there was a new Splinter Cell coming because that DLC thing ends with a full-on tease for another mission that Sam's going on. And though we could do another video saying that a Brazilian voice actor has listed or did a post about working with an old friend, posted a picture of Sam Fisher, clearly confirms that the new game is coming. It's more interesting to talk about the fact that Ubisoft, well, the way that this game is probably going to arrive, because all that Ubisoft make now are big open world games, and what's that going to mean for Splinter Cell?
Yes.
So we've talked about this a lot in the real world, away from the cameras. What's your initial take on how this is likely going to go?
Yeah, see, this is the thing, is like, I love Tom Clancy games. Like, yes. Tom Clancy is one of the things that got me into kind of playing video games, and then Splinter Cell Blacklist I really enjoyed. That game is like 4 years old now?
2013, yeah.
Yeah, so that's quite old in gaming terms.
It is,
and like,
it's so overlooked as well.
Both the Ghost Recon and Rainbow Six Siege, they took like long hiatuses and then obviously came back. And yeah, we brought this up earlier on, is that Ubisoft kind of specialise in open world tower simulators. Obviously, Far Cry 5 divested from that slightly, and had like a little running gag at the start. But that is an interesting thing to consider. It is, can Splinter Cell, as it used to exist today? So yeah.
Oh God, that's the thing. I mean, there's a term that's bandied about called the Ubification of many things, which is, you have your towers, you have your unlock the map, you have your potentially the crafting components, you have all these things that make Ubisoft games what they are, and the vast majority of the recent ones all share even really specific gameplay mechanics like tagging enemies and seeking out outposts and clearing things out. And one of the mandates that Ubisoft has, which I know internally from someone that I know, is that they want to shoot for, and it's pretty obvious anyway, they want to shoot for endless replayability. It's basically, what kind of mechanics can we put in these games that can be tackled over and over and over again, which is why Far Cry 5 had to reset the outposts option, so that like, hey, here's this thing, play it forever, or at least until the next one comes along. And so one of the things with this is, what part of Splinter Cell can they do that with? And I have a couple of ideas. Like, one, if you think of, hardly anybody played Blacklist, but in Blacklist, the way that you accessed missions was you went up to your paladin ship and you had a big old like console with lots of different things on it, and you would just pick missions and you would drop into them. Now, I think that I'm hoping kind of that in the new one, the way they can do their open world design and not completely take it away from Splinter Cell is they'll just expand on that idea, make it so that the places you're dropping into are like Hitman-sized levels or something.
I'd like that.
Yeah, I think that could work.
Yeah, because Blacklist is a really good formula where I love hub menus. They're just like, like going back to whole Black Ops is like you're in a chair thing.
Yes,
but like,
true.
I love hub menus, and I think whereas with Splinter Cell is that you always see that franchise as being a very linear entity. You go from location to location, doing really awesome, stealthy, karambit knife, go to sleep.
Bit of right trigger.
Yeah, so that's all really cool. But yeah, like, I'd be really interested to see how you would go about doing that, because with a game like Hitman, for instance, you do go to these different sandboxes, you're given a target, and you basically said, well, go on, do your thing now.
Figure it out.
Whereas with Splinter Cell in the past, it was very much, you have a specific set of objectives, you have to go about and do them. But obviously with like games like Phantom Pain as well, you're looking at these big open world stealth experiences, and the question is, can you apply that kind of genre to a game that has been as linear as Splinter Cell? And
that's the thing, because the nearest go-to is going to be Phantom Pain or Metal Gear. I mean, obviously Metal Gear, until Metal Gear 5, wasn't an open world game, and the way that they approached it was, to be honest, like, the more that you play Phantom Pain, the more hours you put into it, you do start dropping into the specifics of where you want to be. And once you've like populated the map with a bunch of different fast travel points, you're pretty much dropping to right next to the bit you want to do, doing the thing, and then leaving again, which like just streamline that. I mean, for as much as I enjoyed the open world experimentation of Phantom Pain, nothing about the way that you play it was inherent to, encompassing the whole world. It's not like GTA where you're having a, map-wide car chase. There was nothing in Metal Gear that really, made use of its entire world. So I think if you're going to do that with Splinter Cell, you kind of want the open world mentality, but almost microcosms.
Yes.
Like almost like, you focus that in, you let people approach different areas, but you're not having to design a whole world. Like, we don't want to be running from place to place as Sam Fisher. Or like,
he's too old for that.
Well,
he's old for that shit now, man.
That's another thing. Is
weapon sex.
God, which is a different thing. Is Sam Fisher now is an old man. I mean, they've acknowledged in the past that his age hasn't been consistent across the games, and in the past Ubisoft literally said, look, we couldn't do it. We just wanted to keep doing games, and we couldn't age him the way that the canon should have said.
Eric Johnson to bloody voice.
Bringing him in to
5-year-old man.
Put him on his deathbed. Yeah. But Ironside resurrected again, pulled him back out the brink.
And the other question I kind of had, Scott, because I love Rainbow Six Siege. I think it's fantastic.
Yes.
Do you see that game's model for multiplayer kind of being the whole... It's mainly free. You don't have to pay for anything unless you want to get stuff early. That's how all the DLC is funded, is through season pass payments and cosmetic upgrades. Do you see them applying that to a niche like Spies versus Mercs, for instance? Because Spies versus Mercs that was one of like the key highlights of the old Splinter Cell games. It was so much fun, just like creeping around, hacking the terminals, doing all that sort of thing. Blacklist kind of had a more action element to it, which I wasn't a big fan of. But could you see, because multiplayer games today, they're very kind of very similar. Like, you know, you have the first person objective, you have your team deathmatch, and you capture the flag. Could you see Splinter Cell existing and Ubisoft getting that replayability factor for a fully invested Spies versus Mercs game?
Well, yes.
Yes?
Because I think, I mean, another one of the things that Ubisoft like to put out is they like their multiple currencies and they like their cosmetic stores. You look at Assassin's Creed Origins, for as much as that game was initially touted to have a whole bunch of microtransactions, the way that it released was, you know, if you want to put more money into it, all you're really doing is buying more weapons or items or cosmetics. And if you look back at Spies versus Mercs, like, there are a ton of different ways that you can outfit your Merc or Spy, which in the modern gaming context lends itself to, hey, 99 pence for a cosmetic or a loot box or something. But yeah, I mean, you think about the way that those modes played on Pandora Tomorrow and Chaos Theory, they're very much that sort of like cold, take your time, like, you know, very methodical, tactile approach to gaming, which Siege completely has. And that's like the success of Siege is insane. I mean, even the video that we did is like gone over 1 million views, which is nuts, which is really cool to see. But it points to like a need for more tactile gameplay that isn't being serviced in the likes of like Overwatch or Fortnite or whatever. Well, Fortnite to some degree, but not like, you know, not the same way, not playing the angles game and picking your spots and everything. If they take all the lessons learned from Siege and apply them to the way that the Spies and Mercs play, like, that could be awesome.
That could be the next hit. Like, honestly, I'm excited to see Sam Fisher back and hear Mike Lyon's side, like coming back and doing the voice. But to me, that the idea of having another Siege that's more stealth oriented, where you have to take your time, where you have to do the classic hacking terminals things, where it's kind of like a rock, paper, scissors type mechanic. I'm really, really excited about that. And if Ubisoft have proven that they can keep multiplayer's bases going for ages and defy expectations and grow them, Splinter Cell could, you know, it could be well back, and I really want that to happen.
Yeah.
And that would kind of negate potentially the idea of it having to have an open world. If you have that strong multiplayer component, that does raise questions of whether they overinvest in one thing over the other. No one wants to play a Splinter Cell game that has a really crap single player. So, which Siege was
Conviction.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm coming down.
What was that? You sound very ill.
Oh, I know they were as well. They pulled through. But yeah, that's the thing, because, like, I mean, the ultimate point with this and the way that the direction that Ubisoft have gone in is that clearly they see the money in this sort of thing. So yes, there's totally a way for them to invest heavily in terms of the cosmetics and in terms of the money grubby side of it. We can have that discussion at another time, in the Spies versus Merc stuff, and let the single player be something more like an expanded version of Blacklist, twinned with the way that Hitman approaches its levels, and also bringing in the sort of tactile approach to, you know, working your way through an outpost or enemy encampment the same way that the original games did. I'm game for a blend of everything. Games are good, and I'll be pretty happy with pretty much anything. It's been, like you said, it's been 5 years since the last Splinter Cell.
5 long night vision goggleless years,
squealess years without any goggle noises to speak of. So whatever, you guys can let us know what you think down in the comments. Is it worthwhile Splinter Cell going open world, or do you want a version that is more in line with the original trilogy? Regardless, I've been Scott from mockculture.com.
I've been Ewan from mockculture.com.
I'll catch you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.